Hey guys, welcome back to my video where I talk about career, finance, and relationship as we navigate through these in our early 20s. Today I'm going to talk about an extremely fragile ego that I have and how it basically all started. Is that my flatmates and friends make jokes as what they would usually do. And sometimes, actually not sometimes, but oftentimes, even for those harmless jokes, I would find myself being like genuinely angry, and I started to wonder, like, why am I taking things too seriously? Why do I have such a fragile ego that cannot accommodate a harmless joke? And then I started to think about the things that I'm getting baited on, which is, first of all, it started off with my friends making jokes about some of the mispronunciations that I made. Whenever they would bring it up and make jokes about it, I've never really found it funny. And I thought I had such a fragile ego because now that I think about it deep down, like I was embarrassed and not fully comfortable admitting the lack of competence in speaking English. That was like 2, 3 years ago, but I think at the time, like I felt as though my friends would think that I can't even speak English very well, which is like the basic language that we literally use to communicate. And I wouldn't like win my friends' respect, which I really cared for, and have them look down on me. Now that I think about it, like you wouldn't really do this to a person who actually cannot speak English because that would be like actually mean. So I guess like in a way they thought me in an equal footing, but like at the time, second, this is a very recent current thing. My flatmates making fun of me doing something Asian or my sexuality. I think making jokes about like Asian stereotypes like math, nerd, or gay, like all these jokes, especially among Gen Z, are super common, especially when your friend group is like international. But whenever they would say like, oh, is it because you're Asian? Like these will literally be my trigger points. And I was thinking like, why do I have such a fragile ego? And it's probably because deep down, like I'm sometimes still embarrassed and not fully comfortable being an outlier in a mainstream and having to meet those things. And whenever someone like jokes about it, it's kind of like a reconfirmation of the things that I'm not super like comfortable about, and I still feel a bit more like stood out in a sense. And lastly, this is what my closest person last year would say: finance and business people don't enjoy their work compared to science researchers, and they only chose it because they don't really know other options. And they also said investment banking and private equity are pure evil that destroys our daily life and the economy. And while I see like where they're coming from, I know a lot of people who are actually enjoying doing the corporate stuff, including me. I think I got triggered because I care about it, because it's literally where I'm working for right now, and admitting to those statements would be betraying my own ambition that it didn't really sit comfortably with me. I don't know if you've noticed, but I intentionally repeated some of the words throughout this video because I wanted to draw a conclusion that the things that I'm getting baited on are the things that I consider or take seriously. And that means I care, which is a very human thing to do. It is normal for you to be sensitive, and it's fine to have those trigger points because those points are the things you're particularly insecure about and what you care about. So if you chill at everything, that's quite a bit sad because it means you're not really serious about it or caring anything at all. While you are aware of those trigger points, I think it's equally important to say that, hey, look, this is a sensitive point to me. And if our relationship is important to you, then please be careful in those areas. Because in a mature relationship, the other person will hear you and reflect on how to improve their communication with you so that it can become more mutually respectful. So I hope you enjoyed my confession on having a fragile ego. I'll come back with more videos on boundaries.